my name's Buzz! Thank you guys for coming! It's an honor and a privilege, always! What I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to play a combination of Melvins songs. I just played 2 Melvins songs and I played an Alice Cooper cover. Let's hear it for Alice! That's right, you better like Alice or the show is over!
Next question.
How am I doing? Good.
So, how's the tour going?
Great. You know, I'm almost done. I got 8 more shows and I'm finished with this tour. Then I go on tour with the Melvins for 3 weeks. So, yay! A new album. This Machine Kills. Hold It In.
Hold It In, exactly.
Yeah, with the Butthole Surfers guys.
When will it come out in America and Europe?
October 15th.
America and Europe, or?
I think. I don't know. You know, I never think about Europe.
We never think about America, so that's.
No shit, really. I never would have guessed.
Yeah. And how was the acoustic tour? Do you have like different audiences than usual with the Melvins?
No, it's a Melvins audience. I mean, I'm hoping that someday I will, but you know, I have to make that happen myself. So I have to go out here and prove to people that this will actually work. You know, so far so good. I think people are surprised by how well it works. You know, because, you know, when you hear somebody's going to do acoustic stuff, you know, almost always it's crap. It's just terrible, you know. So I didn't want to do some singer-songwriter, you know, this land is your land, bullshit. Or most rock and rollers that put on acoustics start doing a Bob Dylan-style Nashville skyline. You know, I just wasn't going to do anything like that. That's what people are used to when they hear acoustic. I have to do something new. That's my goal, you know, was to do something new. That's it. And I think it works so far. I don't know anybody else that's doing anything like this. Not the way I'm doing it, you know. I don't know who it would be. I have no idea. Might be some people that I don't know, but by and large, I'm forging new territory as far as I can tell. I don't think we've ever done that. You know, I've never had that experience in my life. I mean, if you listen to our records, I think it's pretty clear that we're not trying to live up to anybody's expectations. I mean, I guess with this, I wanted to make sure that people wouldn't be totally alienated by what I was doing. And I kind of wanted to make it, if you like the Melvins at all, and you know, we cover a vast spectrum of musical ideas. But if you like that and you can accept that, I wanted to do something that you could like this, you know? That's it. But not everybody's going to like it. It's not for everybody. None of our records are for everybody, you know? That's the reason it's worked. You know, if we put out the same record every single time, no one would give a shit, and they would be right, you know. So we've made sure that that's not the case. Even if people say that, I mean, they don't know what they're talking about, you know. I mean, critics, you know, by and large, we get good reviews, but it's just mediocre stuff where there's like, meh, whatever, you know. It's just like it makes you wonder, what are you listening to that's so great? And then if you look through their reviews and see, oh, here's what they like, you go, oh, okay, they don't like good music. They like crap, you know, so then it becomes obvious.
Yeah, it's just not the style. Right?
No, and you know, bands that have been around as long as us don't put out good records. Not usually. The only one I can think of in recent memory is Tom Waits' new album, which I think is one of his best albums.
Yeah,
his newest one. It's really good. Bad as Me. That's just.
Chicago is like.
I'm sorry?
Chicago is a great song.
I like that whole record.
Yeah.
Bad as Me song is great. Hell Broke Loose. That's an amazing song.
Yeah, Hell Broke Loose.
That song, you know, I wish I would have wrote that one. That's an amazing song. And there he is in his early 60s, and he's still doing it. So, you know, if he can do it, anybody can do it. You know, they just don't try hard enough.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. You know. I always figure that I have good taste, and if I do something that I like, other people will like it. That's it.
But you
know?
think like if you were the fan, you want to do a show you would like to see.
Oh yeah. We operate in the way that we would appreciate other bands operating. You know, but I don't go, what will my fans like? I don't think of it in those terms. Not ever, you know. I think if I did that, it would ruin it. You know, I mean, it wouldn't be right. So it's a wrong move every step of the way. I've never been wrong about anything we've ever done. Never. And I apologize for nothing. You know, I'm not wrong about any of it. I was never wrong. That might be part of the problem, you know? I don't hate all of our old stuff, you know? I don't see any reason why I should steer clear of all of our old songs. I mean, I think I like to go to a show and see bands play songs from all of their records or a vast majority of their career, whatever it may be. But we have a lot of records. It's impossible for us to do stuff off of every one. So you're going to disappoint somebody no matter what. But, you know, usually with our sets, we do songs that are 1/3 older than 15 or 20 years and 2/3 newer than 15 or 20 years. But, you know, we never do, oh, this is our new album. We're going to play all of our new album. You know, we never do that. We'll play, you know, some amount of it, you know, and then we have a lot of new stuff. So, you know, lots to choose from. You know, a guy like that, you know, you let just whatever he wants to do is good enough, you know. Let him do whatever he wants. He's given the world so much. Why would I want to argue with him, you know? It's his deal. He's been playing for more than 50 years. You know, I'll give him a break.
Even longer than the others.
Yeah, oh yeah. He's older. I mean, I like his stuff a great deal, and one of the reasons I like his stuff is because he's mean-spirited. You know, it's not real folk music. He's you know, he's talking about, you know, you're an asshole, and here's why, you know. That's not exactly Woody Guthrie, you know. I like that. He bettered all that stuff. He was better than Pete Seeger, better than Woody Guthrie, better than any of those guys. I don't know. I mean, it's funny, you know. Let's just leave it at that. I mean, there's no hidden meaning, you know. I think it's pretty obvious. Because it's an acoustic record, and he had it on his guitar, and I thought it was really funny. It's fucking hilarious. I laughed my head off when we thought of it. Yeah, that's what we got to call the record. You know, that's it, you know. And people want to take that kind of shit seriously, you know, whatever. You know, I call myself King Buzzo, and when I'm in a band called the Melvins, how serious can it be? You know? But we're very serious about what we're doing. But you have to have a sense of humor, you know? Well, if they do, they've never really watched us play, you know? Because I'll take the Pepsi challenge with any fucking band, you know? I'm as good as anybody else, and we're as good a live band as anybody out there, you know? Always were. So I've never felt like I had to, that people should think that we're not serious about what we're doing, you know? I mean, I play with musicians who are some of the best players in the world. As far as I'm concerned, you know, you'd be lucky to find drummers or bass players that I played with that are better than those guys. Who? You know? Trevor Dunn, Jared, Kevin, you know, it's a long list of people. Cody and Dale, you know, those guys are amazing drummers. I've been lucky to be able to write songs and have people along those lines play them, you know? So if somebody wants to look at all that and think that we're not serious, they're out of their fucking mind. Yeah. That's nuts, you know? No. I'll go play with your band and we'll see who's serious, you know? We'll open, you know? We'll open for your band, and you think we're not serious. We'll see what a serious ass-kicking you get, you know? If you're not good live, no one's going to care, you know? To me, you know? I don't have TV or radio or anything helping me out. So we got to be good. That's it, you know? If you're not good, it doesn't make any difference. I can usually say 5 albums, like, you know, I'd say Bulls and the Bees, Colossus of Destiny, Eggnog, off the top of my head, Nude with Boots, and the Bootlicker Maggot Crybaby Trilogy. Maybe, and the Lustmord record. If you listen to all those, you might have some concept of what we're doing. Maybe. But even then, it's always amazing to me when people say, you know, especially reviewers or people say, there's a standard Melvins thing. There's no standard anything to what we do. Nothing. That's just crazy, you know. We put out a trilogy in '99 where we did 3 albums that were totally different in the same year. And then right after that was the Colossus of Destiny album, within, just not even a year and a half. What are they talking about? You can't win no matter what you do. I put out 4 albums in a row that were diametrically opposed to what the other one had sounded like. And still, what the main thing comes from is that they didn't hear those records. That's it. They don't listen to our stuff. They're not interested in what we're doing. They've already made up their mind. So be it. I do the same kind of thing, But you just look at it and go, okay, whatever, whatever. Move on. That's all you can do. By and large, our reviews are good. So, even if I don't agree with them, they're still good. So. Our new album's no different. We did a Hold It Ins with the Butthole Surfers guys. It's completely different than what it would have been without those guys, and it's a new step forward for us. I'm very happy about that. It's a dream come true, really, I liked everybody that I ever played with. It wasn't the way they played that was the problem. It was other things, whether they were drugs or personal issues of one form or another, mostly drugs. Which is a personal issue, and other things too. But I never had a problem with the way any of them played. I always liked that. But I'm very open-minded with that. I don't have a clear-cut idea of exactly what I want to do. I'm really into letting people do their jobs, seeing what happens. No, we certainly sound different with different people we play with. There's no question of that. But whether that's bad or good, I don't know. I don't think it's an asset to start over every single time. I never found that to be easy to do, But I was always very discouraged by all that. That's one of the reasons we played with the guys in Big Business was because after we played with Kevin, I was very discouraged after that and just didn't know what to do. And we did something. We completely reinvented the band, That was a good thing to do. And we did the same thing with the Melvins Light, me and Dale playing with a stand-up bass player. That's pretty crazy, and it worked. So I'm very happy about that. There's a saying that I go along with, that the harder I work, the luckier I get. You can't get lucky sitting on your ass at home. The thing about it is that I think where people make a mistake is thinking that it's a fountain that's never going to end. It's good policy as far as I'm concerned to operate like you're going to be out of business in 6 months. This is not going to work. Then you'll be much better off. It's not going to work. If you knew it wasn't going to work, you'd operate differently. So, and then if it does work, you can be pleasantly surprised. But I've never taken it for granted. Not ever. I don't take anything for granted. I over-plan everything I do. Like even this is planned out. From where? From way over a year ago, how it was going to work, see if it's going to work, on and on and on. I did a ton of things. I even had a new album ready to go in case this whole thing just took a shit, It was like when we got dropped off Atlantic, I knew we were going to get dropped off Atlantic, so we had an album waiting to come out, and then toured for a year and a half after that to prove that we were not done. Atlantic can't kill me. A major label can't kill me. I'll do that on my own. If a band is going to die, they do it by their own hand. What do you mean?
For example, like Henry Rollins doing like a radio show, stand-up, writing books, stuff like that.
Well, sure. I don't have anything against that, but my area of expertise is in music. I'm an absolute expert when it comes to that sort of thing. That's where my strength lies. So for me to step outside of that, it would be a challenge. But as far as it being a success, I don't know. There's a lot of good writers out there. There's a lot of good, stand-up comics, and I just do my best as far as that's concerned. Maybe someday,
You wouldn't say no.
No, I wouldn't say no to anything. But I am a professional musician. That's what I do. Well, sure you could, but I don't think I would like that very much. I'm not good at taking orders, and I think that we have a vast catalog of music that is available to filmmakers, and we have very little interest in any of that getting used. So that would lead me to believe that they have no interest in what I'm doing for a soundtrack. So for me to go out and pursue that sort of thing, and then have to sit there with a director who knows nothing about music, and listen to him tell me what's wrong with my stuff, I'm not that strong. Do you have any idea how much that would cost you to get me to do that? And then sit there and go, what's wrong with my music, back and forth? No, I don't think so. That'd really have to be a lot of money, and that'd be a large portion of my life. John Huston. Favorite movie of all time is Treasure Sierra Madre, directed by John Huston. I like pretty much everything Huston did. He's my all-time favorite, for sure. Followed closely by David Lean and probably Stanley Kubrick, probably. And David Lynch would be in there. John Waters.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Lawrence of Arabia is my second favorite movie of all time. I've probably seen it on the big screen 30 times, at least. Sometimes I have it with me all the time,
Oh, okay. On DVD or?
Right now I have it downloaded on my iPad. So of course it's better to go to a movie in a theater, but I can't do that all the time. I do it as much as I can, I like movies. I'll go to any big movie. I'll go to all the blockbusters, whether they're good or not. And there's some movies that are like science movies or science fiction movies or movies from a comic book. You take your brain out and you set it next to you in the seat. What do you expect? Guardians of the Universe or whatever it was called. It was good. Galaxy. It was good, but it's not Lawrence of Arabia, but I already know that. I'm not going to go in there and pick it apart. This is bullshit. Or Star Wars. Star Wars movies are great. Me and my wife go to the movies as much as we can. When I'm home, We agree. A big date night for us is 2 movies in one night, And LA is like the movie capital. There's so many great theaters.
You have like retrospectives?
All the time. There's really great art house movie theaters there. And then like they'll show Lawrence of Arabia, they'll show that 2 or 3 times a year in LA.
Do they play on like film?
Film, you better believe it. I saw it in 70 millimeter the last few times, 6 or 7 times, Fucking amazing. The Cinerama Dome, 8 shows counting tonight, and then I'm done with this, and then we go on tour October 15th and do 3 weeks of touring with the Melvins in the U.S. Yeah.
And when will the Melvins come back?
I don't know, probably sometime next year, I would guess. But I don't know, it's a little ways off, I got this tour to finish on my own. When I finish this, it'll be 89 shows, so solo acoustic. So I got it down. I'll feel like I have it figured out after 100.
Yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to the show tonight.
All right.
You can keep what you stolen, just give it back to me. I vows to take my vengeance, even when they're